Hey everybody, Jim Powers with MaryvilleSaints.com and Saints Vision as we catch up with our coaches once again this week. And coming off of a split weekend is our men's basketball team and their head coach Marc Stricker. And Strick, 1-1 on the weekend, a tough loss up at Quincy, but then I tell you what, a great bounce-back victory against Truman. And it's always tough to play up at Pershing Arena, but a great bounce-back victory for our guys on Saturday.
Yes, we we did lose a tough one at Quincy, and give a lot of credit to Quincy. They had a great game plan against us and really attacked us on the offensive end, getting rebounds, and that really hurt us in the long run. That kind of cost us the game. And so we came back after the game on Thursday night, spent the night here, practiced on Friday, and we really kind of took the attitude that we need to worry about ourselves right now instead of worrying about Truman and trying to clean up our own house. And had a pretty good film session with the guys. I thought their preparation was really good, and we kind of had a different focus about us, after that film session and practice, and it carried over to Saturday. We were shorthanded, had a couple guys that were sick and injured, and but the way that they fought to the very end was real encouraging. I felt like they followed the game plan pretty well, and it doesn't hurt, to have a guy score 38 points.
Yeah, let's talk about Casey. And I'm going to tell you, watching the game, I would probably say 10 of those points were clean looks. Everything else was him just having somebody draped all over him. For him to put 38 up was just unbelievable. Yeah,
it was real impressive. But anybody around here, I don't think anybody would think that's surprising. Just because of the time and effort that Casey puts in. He's real smart about what he works on, and all the buckets he got were all things that he worked on time and time again, thousands and thousands of reps. Nobody works harder than Casey. But he was just in the zone, man. Like he was just in the zone, and he was feeling it, and he picked the right spots to go one-on-one. He picked the right spots to pass, and it was just real fun to watch. And I just felt like in the middle of the game, for us to win, Casey's got to carry us, and that's exactly what he did. But Casey had a big-time game, but he's not the only reason why we won that game. There were guys that don't get all the credit in the world, but are big reasons why we won. Jerome Davis, for one, had an unbelievable game defensively, blocked some shots, protected the rim, grabbed rebounds, had some and ones offensively. Jerome was really good. His energy is where it always is, which is what I love as a coach, because I know his energy is going to be there. And you look at a guy like Des McDaniel, who, Des had 5 defensive rebounds, and he had 6 assists and made a couple huge threes for us. So he's kind of the unsung hero on that game. And Dez's game has progressed, and I love his attitude. I know his heart's in the right spot, and he's really starting to produce for us. And then the last guy that played, Chaz was big from the three-point line. Bobby Harvey had an unbelievable effort guarding their best player. So it was really – Casey gets a lot of credit, but a lot of our guys stepped up in a huge way that game.
No doubt about it. I tell you what, the three that Chaz hit towards the end, and I think it was the last minute and a half, that was huge because that extended it to a 2-possession game and kind of gave us a little bit of breathing room.
Yeah, it was a big shot. I think there was 45 seconds on the clock, and I think it might have been a tie ball game. And we had run something for Casey. They really bottled him up pretty good, gave him a lot of attention, and ball got crossed over to Chaz. He had a great shot fake, and he got to his rhythm dribble, and I was right behind him when he shot it, and that thing was online, and I had a great feeling when he let go of it. And it was a huge shot, and that's what you expect from fifth-year seniors that have been through it, and tough situations like that. It's great to have experience on the floor. Because no moment is really too big for them, and he really proved that.
Well, you knew it was going in because as soon as it left his hand, you start walking the other way a little bit. So, this week, how important is it? We've already got 4 on the road. We got 1 more in UMSL. It's still considered a road trip. But how important is having the Thursday night bye week this week for the guys to get healthy, get better, and kind of get, work, like you said earlier, working on some of our stuff?
Yeah, I think it's good just because for the players, last 2 days we worked on a lot of individual stuff and just kind of cleaned up some of their own games and get some conditioning done, get them away from 5-on-5 team activities for a little bit, focus on school, get some extra study hall hours in. So it was really good for that. It was good for the staff so we get to get out and do a little recruiting outside of St. Louis, which is always hard to do when you have Thursday, Saturday games. But, now we got 3 real practices ahead of us. So now it's really time to focus back in on Maryville and not just our individual selves and see what we can do.
Place that you know very well, the Mark Twain Center, and a coach you know very well, Bob Sunvold. What are some of the things that you've seen on film that we're going to have to do against a team that is playing really, really well right now?
Yeah, Coach Sunvold is a great coach, and he's a great mentor of mine and a great friend. And he's done a great job with his team. Now, he's got a lot of continuity on this team. He's got a lot of guys that play a lot of minutes that played last year, and I think that's really contributed to their success this year. They're extremely tough. They know how to win. They're disciplined. They do a lot of things really well. And so it's going to be a tough win. They've had some big-time road wins, big home wins, and it'll be a real fun experience for us.
No doubt about it. Thanks so much, Strick, for the time, and we'll talk to you next week.
Thanks, Jim.
Mark Stricker joins us once again. No game on Thursday night this week. The Saints will travel up to the Mark Twain Center in North County, St. Louis, Saturday afternoon, 3 o'clock. If you can't make it, it'll be on the GLVC Sports Network. If you can't catch it there, follow us on Twitter at Maryville Saints. We'll make sure we got you covered wall-to-wall on how our men's basketball team is doing up against Umsel. For Coach, I'm Jim Powers. Thanks so much for tuning in to MaryvilleSaints.com and Saints Vision. Have a great week, and as always, go Saints.